What is going on, guys? So today I'm going to be reviewing the movie that just recently came out, Godzilla vs. Kong, directed by Adam Wingard. So, I don't know, get out of here. I'm out. I'm out. Look at that, man. Look at that, man. Can you believe this? Whew! This movie was, wow. Just damn. So this is the fourth installment of the MonsterVerse franchise, I guess you would say. This is like the sequel of Kong Skull Island and King of the Monsters. So in the previous film, just to recap everything in case, you know, you missed a couple of the films. So we first see King Kong 1973 in the previous film, King Kong Skull Island, and he's left alone on Skull Island. But towards the end of the movie, like if you watch the movie, towards the end, you see this government team called Monarch eventually finds him, and I guess in this movie, King Kong vs. Godzilla, they show that he, I guess, eventually got captured by this team. So we were jumping from the 70s. If you have not followed from the King Kong movie, it's jumping from the 70s to modern day. So Godzilla's timeline is like 2 years ago he was fighting King Ghidorah and defeated him. So now like Godzilla is the king of the monsters, and he's like the next kaiju, as you would say. So yeah, which gives us both Godzilla and Kong now into this modern day timeline of what's happening now. Kong is a little bit older now, is like coexisting with sort of like these humans now. So there's always been this rivalry between the two titans, Godzilla and Kong, and supposedly, like they say in the movie, that their ancestors fought, and it's sort of like a grudge match, I guess. And so like they were always meant to go head to head, you know, in this face-off. They were always supposed to dish out their past. It's not like a coincidence that Godzilla and Kong are going to eventually fight. It's more of like this needs to happen between the two titans, and who's going to be the greater king of the monsters in this movie. I really loved the flow of this movie. It felt perfect. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. I love the score in this movie. Dialogue too in this movie. It wasn't any like cornball stuff in there. I just really loved the director's approach in this movie. I really liked the way everything was shot in the cinematography. I can actually see what's going on in some of these fight scenes now. The previous films, I just really couldn't see that a lot because they would zoom closer to the monster, you know, and they would get too close, and then like I couldn't tell what was happening. And what I liked about his style is that I was sort of like invested in both the characters and the monsters in this movie. Even this movie, I felt like it was more of the monsters' perspective, you know. Yeah, I always felt like the first two films of the Godzilla movies, they were more focused on the human's perspective. So, I mean, I respect that too. This one, I just felt like it was more about the monsters, you know. So the whole movie plot is sort of focused on this new mysterious branch or government. Again, like it's like a new entity, and it's sort of like a communications with machines and all living things or something like that. So the whole cause of this movie is that the humans in this movie are creating like a man-made machine to fight against the monsters or Godzilla, and so the humans are sort of like taking in the matter of their own hands, and this sort of like drives Godzilla to cause havoc in the city. That's pretty much like the whole story of the movie. And so now we get to these characters, and some of these are returning characters and some of them are new characters, like Madison Russell, played by Millie Bobby Brown, and then Mark Russell, played by Kyle Chandler. And then we have these new characters, Nathan Lind, played by Alexander Skarsgård, and he's a geologist, and supposedly this Dr. Lind, he has discovered this hollow earth. So it's like the earth and then something inside the earth's core almost. It's like there's another earth in somewhere else. All the monsters come from this hollow earth, and that's like another big part of the movie. But it was just really fast. It kind of just grazed through it. But it's, once again though, this is a movie that's sort of like, it's another fast-paced film. It's not really trying to go into too much detail, and that's what I really loved about this movie, is that even though like the characters and the story and the plot was pretty fast, it didn't like bug me, because eventually, yeah, like you just want to see Godzilla and Kong fight. I think the biggest character that I enjoyed, she's an orphan girl from Skull Island, and Kong like rescued her, and she's sort of the only person that can communicate with Kong. You can tell that there's like a bond there, and I really love seeing that. And Kong brings the heart to the film. He's in like every big scene, you know. And Godzilla, he's amazing too. He just, the destructive craziness to the screen, you know. I think that's what was the funnest part about this movie. It's like analyzing who was stronger, who was going to take down who, you know. Godzilla has the fire breath, you know, he can take the hits, you know, he's strong, and then he can swim underwater, you know, and he just has more power, you know, he has like nuclear pulses and stuff like that. Unlike Kong is like, he's just strong, he's fast, he's more agile, he's just all heart, you know, and you can tell that Kong gives it his all. He doesn't have the powers like Godzilla. I think that's why I really loved it, man. It was a big epic showdown between the two, and in the theater I was going nuts because I was like, oh my god. This movie actually really exceeded my expectation. If you guys have not seen this movie, please check it out either in the theaters. I would recommend it in the theaters, just this movie as the exception, because you gotta see it on a big screen. The sound makes the difference, the music, everything. Seeing it on the screen is just, it gives it more of the authentic feel, and you're actually there with the monsters. If I had to rate this movie, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is probably one of my favorite monster movies. It's like the Batman versus Superman for me. So yeah, this was a huge deal, I think, for just in cinema in general and in the movie making business, because I think the guy said it took like 200 million to make this movie, so I'm sure there's a lot of production behind this movie, and I just really enjoyed every bit of it. It was amazing. So if you guys have not seen it, check it out. I'll see you guys next time.